Hey soldiers of the internet, what is up? It is Castle Perfect here once again. It's been a couple of days since I last uploaded a video, but this time I'm bringing you a 5th generation OU tier Wi-Fi battle match here against a guy that I met on Smogon Forums Battle Finder. I cannot pronounce his name. You can look at the title and see what the reason why I cannot pronounce his name. And also the link to his channel will be down in the description as well. This was a very epic match, so I highly suggest you to sit down, relax, and enjoy the video. As you can see, I'm gonna start out with my Caesar. He's gonna start out with his heat ran. I'm basically gonna predict the flamethrower, fire blast, or lava plume, whatever he was about to throw at me. It would be a fire type attack because that's perfect against my Caesar. I'm gonna make the smart switch here into Heat Seeker. I'm gonna absorb that flamethrower like a Baus with a flash fire ability, and I'm gonna set up my rocks as he makes a smart switch back into his Starmie, which is gonna rapid spin the stealth rocks away the turn after I set them up, which is not too good for me because had I had those stealth rocks around, this game would have gone a little bit better than it actually did. So he's gonna make a switch into his Spiky, which is gonna be his Thorn, and I'm actually gonna have my Mrs. Fatty up in here because I actually decided to put a Blizzy on my team, which I never use. I go for the Thunder Wave and I ended up paralyzing his Spike. On the switch to my raw power, he actually gets paralyzed, which is amazing because now he's not able to set up the lead seed spikes or whatever not he was about to do. Now I was actually thinking of going for the Brick Break on this turn, predicting the possible switch into Heat Ran, and also in case he decided to stay in would also be super effective. Now I still don't know why I actually went for the Bug Bite, but it ended up being a critical hit against Heat Ran. He's gonna over predict my switch into Heat Ran, which is not gonna happen. I'm gonna stay in here exactly for that exact reason, and I'm gonna go for the Brick Break. I'm gonna get a critical hit, which definitely did not matter because this Brick Break would have definitely ended up the life of his Heat Ran because super effective, max attack, raw power, Caesar, and also everything, everything. It was just more than enough to take down a Heat Ran for sure. So the critical hit did not matter. Well, he's gonna bring out his Dragonite here, aka shiny Dragonite, which is green. Looks awesome. So I go for the Bullet Punch just to break his multi-skill. That's also the reason why I actually stayed in with raw power. I did not really care about raw power too much. I really wanted to get rid of that multi-skill ability of his, which could be a potential threat to my team if I did not break it now and leave it up down for later. So better do it now than some other time. So I did it now. He paralyzed me first and then finishes me off, which is, it's fine by me because now I can bring out the luckiest. And I'm gonna go for the Ice Punch, which is 4 times super effective against his Dragonite. And actually, now that I think about it, had he been on max attack, his multi-skill ability would still be in effect, which would allow him to actually leave 1 Ice Punch and being able to go for something along the lines of Fire Blast or Earthquake, and probably one-shot KO my Jirachi or do some heavy damage, which I of course don't want to have. So now his Mamoswine is gonna make an appearance. I'm gonna predict the Earthquake, the obvious Earthquake. I'm gonna go out into my Gyarados, aka Dragoon. I totally hit the spot right there because I predicted him like a Baus. Then I decided to go for the Waterfall. Stupid move on my part because he decided to make a switch into Spike. Iron Barbs is gonna do damage to my Gyarados, which is not, it's not amazing to have damage on your Pokemon whenever you don't want them to be damaged. And I'm gonna make a switch here into Heat Ran, possibly predicting the Lead Seed and Power Whip, but instead he goes for the Spikes, and it's alright with me because, I really need to actually get rid of this guy. So the reason for why I double switched here was because I thought that he would switch into his Heat Ran or something like that, or no, wait, not Heat Ran, something else, and I thought that Jirachi would be the better choice to go for, but in the end it did not happen because he decided to stay in basically Death Father his Spikes. I did not see that coming, which allows him to have more turns of total annoyance against my team because he's gonna be able to set up more Spikes and also do some damage from his own ability Iron Barbs to my Jirachi, which is not good. But however, now I'm gonna stay in here with Heat Seeker. I'm gonna go for Flamethrower no matter what happens because the previous turn he decided to stay in here, and I did not take that chance to take him out. But now I definitely do. It's super effective, 4 times super effective against Ferrothorn. Goes down to the Flamethrower, and that's amazing. Now in comes Mamoswine, and I'm thinking there is a high probability that he will go for Stone Edge or Icicle Clash, seeing as how I predicted him before with my Gyarados. So I was actually thinking he might predict another switch into Gyarados, which in the end did not happen, which is great by me. That's awesome. That's awesome that he predicted me, because, you know, you can pretty much tell that this guy is not that stupid, which is a guy that knows how to predict, which is great. So Heatran goes down to an Earthquake, and now I'm gonna bring out my Dragoon. I'm actually gonna get used to use Gyarados more often, because these guys are a lot of fun to use, and they are so freaking bulky. They almost never die in one hit. Well, except for my Thunderbolt coming from a Pikachu, Raikou, or something like that, or Zapdos. But anyways, what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go for the bounce. I was actually banking on the off chances of paralyzing that Starmie, but it did not happen in the end. So I gotta switch here, and it's gonna go for the Scald, which is also fine by me, by the way, because now of course my Mrs. Fatty can sponge that like a monster. Now I was actually predicting the Thunderbolt, as you can see. That's also the reason why I decided to make a switch into Mrs. Fatty in the first place. But it looks like he's bluffing, or he really doesn't have T-Bolt. Now, all the way to the very end of this match, I was actually thinking that this guy was bluffing the Thunderbolt. Or, I mean, he was bluffing that he doesn't have the Thunderbolt. And I was really convinced that this guy had the Thunderbolt. In the end, he did not have it, and it completely screwed me up with a Scald, critical hit to my Jirachi, and also gets the, you know, I believe 25 or 30% chances of getting a burn with Scald, which is, you know, to my surprise, both of those hacks happened, which is, you know, very lucky on his part. Now, I'm gonna go back into Mrs. Fatty here, because I really need to soft build up again, because I'm definitely gonna need Mrs. Fatty against one of his Pokemon that he's got left, which is Gengar. I need to paralyze that thing. For the love of God, if I don't paralyze that Gengar, I'm pretty much lost. I have lost this game definitely. So one of the biggest threat on his team is basically the stupid Ghost type, which I cannot hit with Seismic Toss. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just take a close look on how the match goes, see where exactly I'm gonna get a chance to go for the Thunder Wave and end up paralyzing the incoming Gengar, or if he decided to stay in with Starmie, also paralyze Starmie. I don't really mind, as long as one of them is paralyzed and I can be faster than them. And I am also, you know, in the position where I can get a couple of paralyzed hacks that might work in my favor. So he goes for the Scald here, trying to get the burn. As crazy as that sounds, this guy was like, I believe he was really hoping for the burn, and it did not happen, not until the very end, of course. Because of course at some point it needs to happen. So at this point I was like, he's definitely gonna make a switch, or he's gonna go for the recover. So I go for the T-Wave. he went for the switch. He definitely, you know, fall for it. Awesome prediction there. I paralyzed his Gengar. So now the only thing that I have to do left here is, there is a high chance that he's not gonna go for the Shadow Ball, because of course Shadow Ball doesn't affect normal types, and Blissey is a normal type. So I was actually thinking he might go for the Thunderbolt, alright, or the Destiny Bond, both of them. But in the end, he actually surprised me with a Substitute, which is also fine by me, because now looking at his Gengar, he's paralyzed, and my Gyarados can basically outspeed him. Even if he's able to go for the Shadow Ball and finish off my I-Legend, I will always be able to bring out my Gyarados, go for the Waterfall, and take down this guy for sure and forever. For the rest of this match, I won't have any problems with any stupid Ghost type Gengars hanging around and basically going through walls and shit. So Intimidate is gonna kick in here, which is not gonna be useful at all, because I mean every single Gengar is special attacks, and I'm gonna go for the Waterfall just to finish off this job that I already started. So Gengar goes down, and the game is actually down to 2 versus 2. The Gyarados and Blissey versus his Starmie and Mamoswine. So once again guys, he goes for the Skull, which I'm still thinking is complete bullshit. I still think that he's got Thunderbolt on his arsenal, but now is the time for me to actually test it out. And I tested it out here, and then I decided to ask him, do you have Thunderbolt? And he does not have Thunderbolt, because instead he's got Psycho Shock, Recover, Rapid Speed, and of course Scald himself. So all this time I was scared of absolutely nothing. Really, I was scared of absolutely nothing. So in the end I went for the bounce. I get the paralyzed hacks that I so badly wanted. And now his Starmie is paralyzed, but my Dragoon of course is burned, and things are not looking too good right now. I really need to switch back into my Blissey and see what I can do from there. Probably go for the Heal Bell. Yeah, I know, as stupid as that sound, I will go for the Heal Bell. And that is definitely not going to work out, because of course I should have taken this opportunity to see through, you know, see a little bit in the future and see where this game is actually gonna take me. Because as you can see now, he's gonna make a switch into his Mamoswine. I could have taken this turn to go for the soft-boiled and you know, switch back into Gyarados, intimidate his Mamoswine, allowing my Blissey to be able to take at least one of those upcoming Earthquake, Ice-Cold Clash, or maybe Ice Shard or Stone Edge. Whatever that Mamoswine was about to throw at me, Intimidate will definitely you know, help me out in the long run, as long as he doesn't decide to make another switch back into his Starmie, which, you know, for the rest of the match is not gonna be the case. He's gonna go for the Ice-Cold Clash, finish off my Gyarados. I only have one Pokemon left, and that is Mrs. Fatty. And at this point, looking at all the damage that the entry hazards that he set up on my field did to my Mrs. Fatty, I was like, this is pretty much game over. I don't think Mrs. Fatty will be able to survive, but thank God of the insane amount of HP that Blissey actually has, I'm gonna be able to survive and go for the soft build and bring me back to probably 53% HP, and that is definitely more than enough for me to survive another Ice-Cold Crash and you know, be able to go for another soft build and bring me back up even higher this time. So what I'm actually doing at this point, guys, I'm actually racking up as much damage as I possibly can from the Life Orb that his own Mamoswine is holding, which as you can see is doing a lot of damage. The more he attacks me, the more damage he actually receives each turn. Of course, it's the same amount of damage, but the residual damage is always awesome. And as long as I keep him attacking me, everything will be alright. So what happens here is I decided to go for the offensive move here, knowing that I will still be able to take another hit and be able to go for the soft boiled once again. Now, as you can see, that couple of times or a couple of turns that he used to go for the Icicle Crash instead of Earthquake was because he was crossing his finger, trying to get a flinch and finish off this match and taking the victory home. But no, Mrs. Blissey, or Mrs. Fatty actually, is a Mrs. Fatty, and she is awesome. She doesn't flinch even once, which is great, and I'm gonna be able to take down his Mamos right now. The only thing that you can say right now is Mrs. Fatty, Blissey, aka Starmie, who is gonna take the victory home. It's 1 versus 1. The match is actually down to the wire, and I'm actually thinking, you know what, there is no possible way that this Starmie can stop me. I know that at some point he will try to stall me out with Recover and me going for the Seismic Toss all the time. He will try to get rid of all the Seismic Toss before I can actually take him down. But I'm actually thinking that there will be a couple of turns which are gonna work in my favor, where he's gonna get paralyzation, and I am gonna be able to go for a couple of Seismic Toss in a row and be able to finish off the match here and seal off the victory. But it's not gonna happen, guys. As you can see, a lot of turns are gonna pass by, and he is not going to be able to even get paralyzed a single time. Now at the very end of this match, which as you can see is still not the end, he's gonna be able to, you know, well, I'm actually gonna be able to get a couple of hacks here and there and get a couple of paralyzations, where I'm gonna be able to go for the Seismic Toss, Seismic Toss, and basically, you know, give me the win. As you can see, it goes down to red, goes again for the recover, and god damn it, this was one hell of an annoying stalwart between Blissey and Starmie. Now, because they both have access to recovery attacks, things, you know, take a lot more time than it usually does, you know, when two Pokemons are offensively going up against each other without using any recovery moves such as Razz, Soft Build, or Recoil. Or, I mean, what the hell? Recoil, I've been playing too much Battlefield, I guess. Recover, that's what I was trying to say. Now, as you can see, he gets the burn on this turn, which is great. Yeah, it's good for him, but still doesn't make a difference because, you know, the amount of damage that the burn actually does is insignificant, because I can always go back to soft boiled and see and get myself back to full health. And as you can see, he's doing exactly the same, you know, trying to get as slow as possible as he possibly can get with his own HP and stall as many Seismic Toss as he possibly can. But still, I'm thinking and crossing my own fingers that at some point in this match I will be able to go for the Seismic Toss after he gets paralyzed and see where that actually takes me. Now he decided to go for the Psycho Shock, which is the first time that he actually shows the Psycho Shock, and it doesn't do enough damage where he can actually have hope of winning this match, which is a shame in the end, because I mean, winning with a Blissey is not always so victorious, because in my opinion, Blissey is one of those stupid ass, dirty ass Pokemons that just never ever want to die, no matter how hard you hit them, because they can always stand back up and go for the soul, but they're just way too sturdy and overpowered, as if you ask me, actually. And that's also the reason why I'm actually using it. I like overpower stuff. And when I use overpower stuff against overpower stuff, the whole situation gets overpowering. And I'm actually rambling at this point, guys. As you can see, basically I'm going for the seismic toss, just still hoping for the goddamn thing to get paralyzed, where I'm gonna be able to go for a couple more seismic toss and finish off the match. I'm not gonna keep continuing with this narration. I'm basically gonna seal off this narration, because you will see in the end what the end score will be. Of course, it's gonna be 1-0 for one of us, but it's gonna definitely work out in my favor, where I do get the para hacks, and I'm definitely gonna say goodbye now, because this is taking too long. Here he gets paralyzed, and I'm gonna go for another seismic toss, and he's basically gonna lose this match. 1-0 for me, guys. I definitely love you guys for watching this video. I thank you very much, and if you are not a subscriber and you definitely enjoyed this video, make sure to go ahead and subscribe. Click the subscribe button right on the left lower corner of this video, down this video, of course, just a little bit above the description, and you know, you will definitely be able to check more of my videos. Also, for those of you who are actually wondering why does your voice sound so weird, is because I actually catch the cold, so I need to take care of myself and see if I can recover a little bit faster. But anyways, guys, I thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys later in my next upload, and don't die, be safe, be healthy. See you guys later.